ਰਾਸ਼ਟਰਪਤੀ ਜੋ ਬਾਈਡਨ ਨੇ ਸਾਲਾਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਸੰਯੁਕਤ ਰਾਜ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦਰਮਿਆਨ ਵਪਾਰਕ ਸੰਬੰਧਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮਜ਼ਬੂਤ ਕਰਨ ਦੇ ਉਦੇਸ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਸਮਝੌਤੇ ਦੀ ਘੋਸ਼ਣਾ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮਹਾਦੀਪ ਨੇ ਹੋਰ ਅਮਰੀਕੀ ਤਰਜੀਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਸੀਟ ਲੈ ਲਈ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਚੀਨ ਨੇ ਨਿਵੇਸ਼ ਅਤੇ ਵਪਾਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹਿਲਕਦਮੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀ। ਬਾਈਡਨ ਨੇ ਵਾਸ਼ਿੰਗਟਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋਏ 3 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਸੰਮੇਲਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 39 ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੇ ਅਮਰੀਕੀ ਸੰਘ ਦੇ ਅਫਰੀਕੀ ਨੇਤਾਵਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਭਵਿੱਖ ਲਈ ਸੰਯੁਕਤ ਰਾਜ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਹਰ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਅਫਰੀਕਾ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰੇਗਾ।
Distinguished heads of state, leaders of regional and global institutions, and of course, representatives of more than 300 companies, African and American. Welcome to Washington. And I want to recognize our co-hosts, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the Corporate Council of Africa, two great champions for building and growing ties of business and trade and investment between Africa and the United States, as well as the members of my administration and the members of Congress who are here today. All the members of Congress, please stand up if you're here so I can identify who you are. There's the man. All right, I'm sure you're out there somewhere. Look, this forum is about building connections. It's about closing deals, and above all, it's about the future, our shared future. We've known for a long time that Africa's success and prosperity is essential to assuring a better future for all of us, not just for Africa. I've been engaged in these issues going back to my days as a young man in the United States Senate. When I was on the Foreign Relations Committee, I was chairman of the African Affairs Subcommittee and got to spend a lot of time in Africa. I visited almost all of your countries. When I was vice president serving with President Obama, we hosted the first U.S.-Africa Leaders Summit, including U.S.-Africa Business Forum. We saw so clearly the enormous potential that we could harness if we did it together. And holding the first of its kind summit in 2014 was a watershed moment to cement new kinds of partnerships between our nations. Partnerships not to create political obligation, or foster dependence, but to spur shared success, and I emphasize shared success and opportunity. Because when Africa succeeds, the United States succeeds. Quite frankly, the whole world succeeds as well. Now, 8 years later, the world has undergone a great many changes. We're still grappling with the deadly pandemic, facing down war and instability, addressing economic challenges with global impact, fighting rising food prices, tackling the impacts of climate change. And each of these crises has only heightened the vital role African nations and peoples play to address the global challenges that drive our global progress. We can't solve any of these challenges without African leadership at the table. And I'm not trying to be nice, that's a fact. African ideas and innovation helping to shape the solutions, and African population contributing to every step. So the only question when I took office was not if we'd host another U.S.-African Leadership Summit, but when. My administration's engagement with Africa and the priority we place on these